Welcome everyone to October 27th and our beautiful gathering, Radical Earth Resonance. And tonight we just have this incredible opportunity to deepen here in the field, this beautiful field. We're just talking that it's all about love. We come here together to build this field of coherence. We're in the connection field. And if you would like to join us, you can simply come into this Zoom loving room by going to connectionfielddigest.org. Hopefully we've made it simple enough for you. And I'm Shelley Darling. I'm here hosting with Tyhson Banighen and Charlie Riverman. We are the Sacred Evolutionary Dowsing Consortium. And we're here together tonight. Our guest, Peter Shampoo, and with Susan and Karen and Claudia and Rosalind and Ms. Amani. We're here to just open to receiving that which wants to come for us to enable a deepening of relationship with the earth. And tonight, we're all very aware, whether we're paying attention or not, to the election, if you're living in the United States. And as dowsers and planetary healers and as alchemists, we're here to really support this higher frequency of love on the planet. We're here to support this return to wholeness. And tonight we'll get a taste of that, and we'll be playing together and becoming connected to this grid, this planetary grid of light and love, really amplifying it for the sake of the being in service to the whole, for the radical diversity that we are a part of and are stepping into greater love and appreciation for. So with that, we always start with an opening heart resonance. And this invitation right now just to simply relax in your body and bring your loving attention to your heart, to your personal heart right now. Because as we work for the restoration of peace and love, it all begins with this relationship with ourselves. And so we want to invite this breath to expand, to become conscious of this frequency we call here the home frequency. So just taking some conscious breaths, attuning with the natural rhythm of your own body. And simply allowing this awareness bringing in a warm smile, because right now it's what's needed on the planet, this very warm smile, which says, I'm here. I'm here with you. And bringing that sensate awareness to this living system of love that's breathing us, that's constantly loving us. And the sense of we're describing as this field, this unified field, that we're already whole. And just opening to tonight, if you can imagine, for those of you who might be listening who have never heard of what's called a Merkaba or Star of David, just imagine this beautiful frequency of light showering you, just like the most gentlest rain. And within this light are all the colors of the rainbow. And just feel yourself being washed, just bathing in and relaxing into this beautiful, sparkling, glistening light. And feel it just washing you all the way down as it touches the earth, your feet. And just feeling nourished. And with the understanding everything's energy, we consciously make a collective intention tonight to really align with our soul design, that force of nature, that impulse of love that is your fullest expression. And feeling the connection with those around you, with those in the Zoom room. Feeling that support, feeling your back as you take a breath, just stay soft but straighten. And just taking another moment. Last week we spoke to a rawness that was moving within all of us, actually. And this week, calling in that spirit, power, and presencing, the gift of nature herself, and just tuning into the DNA of the living Akash. You don't need to know what that is, just simply opening to receive that information tonight for whatever is calling for us to bring our attention to. And as we come together tonight to honor the ancestors, the elementals, all relations, the stone beings playing their part, connecting us to the stars, the tree beings with their roots deep, deep, deep into the earth, connecting that microbial network across the planet. The messengers, the bird tribes, always supporting a larger vision, clarity of that vision. And the cetaceans, the ones that have fins, really teaching us, opening our hearts to greater playfulness, wisdom. And no matter where you are tonight, this sense of our interconnectivity, notice that we're becoming just a little bit more porous. And tonight, as we're breathing and just feeling the sensate experience, feeling into the field, we all just envisioning our hands connecting in light, in love, with the knowledge, with the wisdom of creating a safe space for the children within us, and our children's children, and their children's children, and their children's children. And as we're begin to bring our attention back to our heart, we just flood it with gratitude. Flood this field with our love. Flood this field with our willingness to be present. Just take a pause. And very gently coming back into present time here in this Zoom loving room with our beautiful, beautiful, beautiful light workers here. And I'm just going to pass this this beautiful handmade 100% pure beeswax candle over to Charlie. And just honor all those beautiful bees that are pollinating this earth as we come together here tonight.
Thank you, Shelley, for that beautiful meditative entrance into our beehive, if you will. I call on all of the directions, particularly the 7 directions. But as we know, there's more than 7. There's an infinite amount of directions, all depending on what dimension you travel into. And as we gather here tonight, I'm asking all of those dimensions to open and be with us as we gather, as we hold each other's energy in sacred communion. This is a sacred space. Each one of us have been called to be here, not just because it's a social activity, but it's an activity that emerges from our heart space. And the wonderful part of this is that we sit in a circle of 12 around 1. Even if not 12 places are being held on the screen. And we can move between each of those spaces in any direction and sit and listen. Sit and speak. This is the sacredness. I thank you all for showing up here, being here, and feeling into the energy field. And I ask each one of you to allow your heart to speak. Oh, Brother Tyhson, I will offer you the Merkaba, the Shungite Merkaba,
All right, I'll
that you
receive
might
it
speak
for my
into the
Merkaba.
field.
Merkaba to Merkaba. So I think we're going to be talking about Merkabas today. And what better topic than to create a new Merkaba energy about around Washington, D.C. I found myself this morning running Divine Mother energies, doing the blue rain of universal love around Washington, D.C. and everybody involved, and extending it out, and including all those that are involved in the government of the United States as we go into this amazing time of planetary transformation, holding steady to the inner heart, the radical earth resonance call that we all feel as part of birthing the new earth, and allowing that energy to flow through and bring us together as one group, united in bringing about this new vision. So welcome everybody to today's call. It's good to be here and to welcome you all on this endeavor. The Merkaba is now open.
I love that. The Merkaba is now open. So we had some ideas about tonight, and Peter, we know you're here, and you wanted to bring in the piece that possibly we could do on Saturday, but Tyhson, myself, and Charlie are diligently writing a book, and we have a 6-hour retreat to get that book going along with some other ones. So we can't do it on Saturday. So we thought we would allow the field to organize this tonight. And we wanted to start out with the Thousand Goddess Gathering, because it just happened a couple of days ago in Washington, D.C. Though it was online this year, we wanted, over the past couple of years, it's been at the Washington Mall. And so I wanted to share just a little bit about that. Charlie can share a little bit about the grid and somehow tie what you're doing and really support the energetic field. Of course, on Turtle Island, but also specifically coming closer to Washington, D.C., just holding that vibration that can support the highest good of the whole. So I wanted to share a little bit with people about that gathering, and that it happened 3 days ago, and that we can still hold the field with that energy. And when I think it was Charlie Tice, was it like 2 years ago, we came together, and over the past couple of years, the consortium, this group of planetary healers and alchemists, like I was saying, came together, and we did a lot of work, and it was really powerful. It was really fun. And it started out with a grid that Charlie did for the Thousand Goddess Gathering, a Merkaba. And I think maybe Tyhson, maybe you want to share a little bit more about Merkabas, because there might be people who are listening who maybe have some idea, but how are we also specifically using a Merkaba to amplify the frequency, clear some of the negative, the dissonant energies, and raise the vibe, so to speak. So, and then Peter, you can add in, and we'll open it up to everybody as we just start this field going. Also tonight, before we close, I'd like to just do a circle for, I got a call today from a friend of mine, well, actually Deb, who used to be on this call. Her sister has COVID and it's pretty bad. So just wanted to just do a little healing circle for her before I have her name before we leave tonight's call. So with that, I want to just bring in a little bit of information about this gathering. And Mayor Cromley, who was the inspirator for it. And then I have a video for you guys to start out with, and then we can open the call up, if that's okay. Does that work for everybody? Yeah? Okay, so just gonna read you a little bit about the 2020 Thousand Goddess Gathering Global Grid. Has evolved into a call to action to elevate the luminous love energetics of our sacred earth by a powerful unified field of ceremonies anchored to Mother Gaia's heart on October 24th, 2020. And I'll just read just a little piece so that we can all breathe this together. We are going through a tremendous change on Earth right now. Mother Gaia and various spiritual councils within the universal realms, which Mother sits on, have requested that the Thousand Goddess Gathering Global Grid be expanded to support what is for the highest good for Mother Gaia and humanity at this time. We're inviting deep compassion, balance, harmony, and peace to help heal and restore right relationship within our human realms. The divine masculine will be invoked from the spirit planes as guardians to hold the sacred balance. Priestesses, goddesses, divine feminine, sacred circle leaders, shamans, and more have been invited to convene. We are collectively amplifying Gaia's oneness grid to help usher in the new earth through this unified field of love. So with that, I'm going to just gift you. I feel like I want to say gift you with a tone poem that Pamela, some of you know Pamela Durand, but she put this together, I believe, for 2020, but she was originally there. She's a beautiful singer, songwriter. Well, come into the connection field on Thursdays at 11 a.m., I believe, and you'll get to experience her. Don't miss it. But this will give you a deepening into the power of love, the voice of the heart. I think that's enough for now. So let me just pull this up for you. Oops, it's asking me for my, hold on one second.
When 1,000 goddesses gather, the great mother will rejoice. When 1,000 goddesses gather, love will have a voice. Mother Earth, Mother Fire, Mother Air, Mother Water, we come to you with humble hearts, sister, goddess, priestess, daughter. Rising from the ashes bathed in crimson tears, we carry the dead who buried the pain. We carry our ancestors' fear. We gather with the men who break down the walls, sacred guardians, Father of all. Durga blood and Kali rage, we gather as Lilith to turn the page. Tongues as knives, we cut the sage. We burn, we smolder, we spark, we blaze. We come to keen and sway our hips, the salt of forgiveness upon our lips. The ache of birth is a wild, fierce grace. The pressing pain opens the gates. For eons we dared not step through the door. Our voices grow bolder, the caged bird no more. We know in our bones that we came for this shift. From fear to love, to offer our gift. We have come to midwife an era of peace. Waters cleansed an ocean of grief. We came to remember. We came to release. Each one of us came for this liberation song. Our long walk to freedom forged us wise and strong. Sophia, Pomona, Shekinah, Parvati, Artemis, Lakshmi, Venus, Shakti, Gaia, Inanna, Minerva, Persephone, Ostara, Hathor, Demeter, Kali. When 1,000 goddesses gather, the great mother will rejoice. When 1,000 goddesses gather, love will have a voice.
We came as midwives to this era of peace. So with that, Charlie or Tyhson, you can jump in, and Charlie, you can describe the grid that we began years ago that we're bringing forth tonight, and Tyhson can bring in his words, and Peter, then you can weave in and we can open it up for everyone to be holding this. The word that's coming to me is a cradle, to really cradle her tonight with our love, with our wisdom. So with that, I pass it over to you, Charlie.
Could you make me co-host,
Oh.
beloved sister?
There you go.
So, yes, this began for me, the first 1,000 goddesses gathering in 2016. So this is now the 4th year that this has been held, even though it was not held physically in Washington. And my journey with this began with a grid, and I'm going to see if I can get these up here, share screen. It began with looking up this grid right here. And I couldn't find the actual one that I was called to, but this was part of a Masonic grid over Washington. And what it represents is the masculine energies that went into the structuring of everything energetic in Washington, D.C. And as I tapped into that, I realized that there wasn't anything feminine about that. And upon reading different articles, it had been rewritten, recoded, re-energized. And it was all about power. It was all about creating a power center. And as we know now, through our lifetimes, since Washington was designed and built, we've seen the power that it has wielded in the world. And when the 1,000 goddesses decided to go there or appear there and bring back the divine mother energy, the divine feminine energy, that struck me very deeply. And so I took that grid and I was guided to create another grid. And like if I can find which one it is, let's see. Well, we'll use this one. Can you see that?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, so if you can see that, you can see the grid that's initially, that I originally found, and you'll see some pink lines. And while the original one that I have is faded because it's been wet, those pink lines were the divine feminine tetrahedron, the Merkaba, if you will, of the rose Merkaba that I was guided to place over and above all the grids that had been there. And to honor that as a star tetrahedron by placing grid lines and drawing grid lines from points around the city of Washington. On this, let's see if I can stop share. So this one, share screen. This one was the final draft that we worked on. And each one of those points represent a place where etherically I have placed a crystal, and at some point I will physically place a crystal in that star tetrahedron. And where you see this line that's drawn goes to Mount Agamenicus, the sacred mountain that I'm water guardian of, to the place where the 1,000 goddesses gathered, the physical place. And Shelley can remember it, it's a park. I'm not that familiar, but it was a park and a fountain. And that's where they gathered and had that ceremony that you saw in the video. And so all of this has been going on for 4 years. And that grid that I have here in my house still in place, other than tonight when I took the drawing out, is guarded by angels, Kuan Yin, the divine mother of Christ, angels, rose tourmaline, rose quartz skulls, rose quartz hearts. And so it's really about the power returning, the true power. And so that's where we began our journey as the Sacred Evolutionary Dowsers when we worked on Washington. And we've been working on it continuously, little pieces at a time. And we actually created a an energy field in the Potomac River that generates positive energy. And the intention of that was that anyone who crosses the bridges of the Potomac between Washington, D.C. and the Pentagon would receive positive energy. And we've tracked that over time, and it's still providing that energy. So I just want to lay that as sort of the foundation stone of what we are working with, the energy background of that. And this is all guided. And Peter has his pilot mountain grid, which is also touching on Washington, D.C. and goes right through Washington, D.C. One of the lines, I believe it's the Acadian ley line. So as we come to this place of the change in history of America, this election, I'll call it the infamous election that is happening right now, we are being called right now to add positive energy and loving energy to the outcome of this. And so as we gathered here tonight, I just ask all of you to let go of who, what, when, where, and how, as we come here to embrace who we are as the guardians, as the goddesses, and honor that what we bring forth and send into this space will remain. And other people will also be able to tap into it, whether they know about it or they don't know about it. That this is the work of sacred evolutionary Dowsers that we've been doing for several years. And we invite you to open what you've been doing as well and bring that into this field of 12 round one, this heart resonance of Mother Earth, because she's feeling this, she's knowing this, and she's guiding us. So with that, I think I've kind of wrapped up my end of describing of where we've come from, where we've begun, and I'll pass the Merkaba over to Tyhson. Tyhson?
Thank you, Charlie, and I'll receive it through this Merkaba. Yeah, Merkabas are really quite amazing, both individually and collectively. Just a few words about Merkabas. Of course, when we open the call and we join heart to heart, we're really weaving our heart Merkaba to each other, and it creates a unified field that is a giant Merkaba. So we create a interdimensional portal to the larger Merkaba that we've created. And that allows us to actually do interdimensional travel, allows us to rest in the null point, in the 0 point, which allows time, past and present and future to collapse into the now moment, which lets us do sacred work that it can affect the timelines of both past, present, and future. So it's a very powerful vehicle that is, described in the Bible as Ezekiel's wheel is a rolling, and has been used and described down through history as the chariot of the gods. So I just wanted, if you could just let me share my screen just for a sec. I'd love to just show what's going on in my broadcast center here and in my little light center here. And so in the dodecahedron sound chamber, and I'll just show you a picture of it here. Let me just see if I can find it first. So this is what the star tetrahedron looks like as a dodecahedron around the Earth. So this is what we're informing and communicating when we work on our heart chakra collectively, we are helping build this grid around Mother Earth. Some call it the dodecahedron grid, some call it the Christ grid, some call it the noosphere, but it's a grid of consciousness. It's a part of our evolution that we're in the midst of creating for the new Earth. And and you can see here the dodecahedrons that are also in our DNA, spiraling up and down. So in the larger dodecahedron, in each one of us, it's really the divine marriage between the male and the female. It's the bringing of the upper tetrahedron as the masculine in union with the divine feminine. So and then in the center, we have the null point. I was hoping to be able to show you the dodecahedron. Maybe it's this way. Oh, it's not going to show me. I wanted to show you the so let me just see if I can find it quickly. So this is a dodecahedron in my basement. So in the basement here is 24 of those dodecahedrons in a box, which is part of an earth grid of a set of 24 dodecahedron little ones, which have been gifted all the way around the planet that form this grid. So this is our dodecahedron sound chamber, and the beauty of a dodecahedron sound chamber as sacred geometry, it creates crystal clear sound, and that vibrates out through with scalar wave technology. It's pumping out the heart chakra vibration 24/7, 365, broadcast through our sacred mountain in the landscape, which is Mount Ida, part of the parasympathetic nervous system of North America. So when we connect our hearts together, we create a larger birkagwa. When we come to my place and do a session in the dodecahedron, it opens up your heart chakra and connects you to all the other heart chakras around the planet. So that's what I'd like to share in this moment. Thank you. And I'll pass my Merkaba on to the next person.
I would love to follow that thread. Hello, good evening. I had no idea why I had sent this message to Ariana the other day until we brought this up the way we brought this up. I said, Spirit says, how do we allow for life and death simultaneously? How do we build the mother, a uterus, ovaries, and a birth canal? The world burns. She burns because her baby is under duress. Does the world have meridian lines, chakras, acupressure points, and the like a body? If so, how can we simultaneously activate to create a birth canal? How many cells in approximation does a uterus have, ovaries and canal have? What is the answer when divided by the golden ratio? Channel. How do we channel the answers? I know in my heart of heart she needs water. And as everyone was speaking, about the Merkaba, I came up with like a second portion, and know that I don't have training in anything that you've talked about. And this is just coming through as it's coming through. Activate your Merkaba, raise your frequency, lean into your love. Gently ask the mother to allow her divine light to move peacefully and naturally through your body. Feel her liquid warmth, feel her mothering. Humbly receive her nurturing and nourishment. Feel your heartbeat. Feel the pulse of the one true note, a symphony of the calls to action. Rejoice in her loving waters. Tilt your head to the father sky and reach up your arms. Offer your light and love. Offer your highest qualities. Call the oneness in. Let the two halves of the whole unite. Unify the collective consciousness, the universal cathedral that whispers the internal ether. In the place it begins, the heart, close your eyes and snap to start. And when you realize all that you are, the methods and motions of coming from a piece of a star, you are the one, you are the key, an encoded living water energy, celestial resonance, a powerful consciousness crystal, both transmitter and receiver. You are the access point that all we know. Thank you so much.
So definitely want to, at some point, head back to Charlie's grid. Just as you were saying that, Miranda, you are the access points. And that's really the bottom line, is that we're connecting with those access points. So with that, just going to open it up to Peter, and someone else came in. Oops, I don't know.
Screen share. Yeah.
Screen share for you. Okay, hold on. It's like no one. I'll just do this on. All right, there you go.
Okay. So the Merkaba, it's been a conversation for quite a few years. This is kind of like the standard model, if you will, of the Merkaba. Opposite spinning tetrahedrons. Tetrahedron being the symbol of water. So we being water beings in the midst of this tetrahedron, our spin field, our electromagnetic field keys into this. This is also something that is part of our planet. Down here, you can see that like Hawaii is on the 19.5 degree latitude. India is over here. And so that's the Earth Merkaba. This is something. What was this?
Hold on, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
you have to stop the share and restart it if you're showing something else.
Oh,
Yeah, so sorry, it's just the way it works. So
stop it.
stop it and then pick the.
Oh, okay, thank you.
There you go.
Oh yeah, pick the. Well, this is a page from my book, Moon Rivers, where I was exploring the 19.5 degree latitude as a frequency that is common to most planetary bodies, like the sun. You see up here in the upper right, all the solar flares come out of the 19.5. Over here is an image of Mecca with the 19.5 going just below it, not exactly on it. But around the Earth, there are many of these volcanoes. This one in the Sahara, Pinatubo volcano over in Philippines is on the 19, as well as Hawaii. So there are all these hot spots. Mexico City is another one that's on the 19.5, fully volcanic. The Great Spot on Jupiter is another 19.5. So it's consistent throughout this planetary system. And looking at this, it's they should, that model I showed originally, it shows the human standing within the entire feet on the bottom of one of the Merkabas. But this seems to suggest that the Merkaba plane is a kind of a solar plexus of planetary form. So I found that to tune into the planet body, I used my solar plex center as a way to lock into the planet. It's you can kind of feel the power of the mother and share your power with her. Yeah, the Merkaba, beautiful thing. And I need to stop my share and then get back to where Charlie was, which was, where is it? No, I missed it. Sorry. Where is it? Too many windows open. Can you see this? The pilot mountain wheel.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Up here in the upper right, we have Washington D.C. in this ring, and you'll notice that the where the Washington Monument is, the center line of Washington D.C. is right on the 77th parallel. And I mentioned talking about this earlier weeks back, that he went south of here. He went through a lot of places where there's drugs and coffee and chocolate and cocaine and rum, are all kind of produced in this line. But if you go north, it goes up to Lake in the Mountain on Lake Ontario. And legend has it that that's where the Ganawanahiya came from, the peacemaker of the Iroquois Confederacy. And that's also where the Constitution of the United States came from, was through this wisdom of this peacemaker that united all the warring tribes of that region of New York. So there's like a telluric, a north-south magnetic band frequency that connects Washington D.C. to the Iroquois Confederacy, going up through Seneca Falls and or is it? No, it's Syracuse. It goes up through Syracuse, where the peacemaker came and turned the Taradaho, the cannibal, to peace, and they buried the hatchet and such, and the rest is history. But one of the things they left out in which brings in the 1,000 goddesses, is that the Council of Grandmothers was missing from the Constitution. And while the rest of it is generally Indian law, having that piece missing of the ultimate say of the guidance for the 7 generations rested with the grandmothers. And they were old gals that had seen it all, been through it all. So it's curious to me that there's a lot of grief going around about this new Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, but that makes 3 women on this Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court is kind of, they fulfill the function of the Council of Grandmothers. So as these women come into their crone years, I would imagine that they would have that wisdom of Sophia. So where it might be not that great at the present, looking at some say looking at this new justice. I think it's a good thing that we have that feminine energy in that capacity. So this is this what I'm calling the what is it down here? Pilot mountain wheel. holding a unity field for the good of the whole, with a nod to the good of the whole and the unity field as well. By synchronicity, there are events happening, it's starting already, with the 1,000 Goddess gathering in Washington, D.C. It's kind of like, it's the first frequency charge that's been introduced here. The Hare Krishna temple, New Vrindavan, quite a place up there in Moundsville, West Virginia. They're having a 24-hour kirtan on 31st and 1st. So they're holding that sound frequency, and on the same weekend, next Saturday, Sunday, there's a gathering, both physical and digital, at the Serpent Mound in Ohio. So that I just find that very interesting. How we have this synergy of energy that's taking place around this wheel. So there's a polarity here, if you will. We have Hare Krishna temple, which is Krishna was the blue god of. He was a warrior. And south, directly south, is Parris Island, U.S. Marine Corps. Then we have this serpent over here and a dolphin over here. Two kinds of waveforms, if you will, a water waveform and a land waveform. And we have two monuments, one to Washington, founder of that country, and one to the Confederacy down in Stone Mountain, Georgia. It's quite a hunk of rock there. But that's really the tail end of the Appalachian Mountains. So there's completing this hexagon, or not hexagon, octagon. There's 8. The number 8 is in this thing. So that's an octave. So the idea, what I'm working with here is an intentional focus is to bump it up to the next highest octave, raise the frequency. And we have this line that goes across the 3630, which initially was a line of division between north and south. And but there's a line there, so I, to try to make that positive, it's a line that could bring the country together, just as it tore it apart, because it's the flip side of it. It's the octave, the raising that octave. There's an old metaphysical phrase, or hermetic phrase, that says, change the frequency, change the manifestation of the mass. So as we go into this election cycle, I'm offering this as a way to hold a unity field, and actually, and also a healing field, because much of the Civil War took place within this octave. So yeah, and all good things. Oh yeah, and there's a Serpent Mound has a right next to it. It's built on the side of what's called the Serpent Mound anomaly, which is a site where a meteor hit the ground, and it hit the ground in such a spot that it created a volcano at the same time. So for many years, I couldn't figure out what happened here, But so there's all this, sacred sites in the ancient times are often made at the place where meteors hit the ground. But this was during the Devonian era. And I contacted another grid worker who was down in this area here in North Carolina and in Elizabethtown. And there are all these like kettle holes all over the place. And it looked like big springs or something there. And she said, no, an ancient meteorite shower landed there. So, within all these, within all this field are minerals from celestial origins that can be used to change the frequency and change the manifestation of the mass. With this cosmic energy that's in resonance with this cosmic bombardment or cosmic upgrade that we are in the midst of. I was gifted with a video of a fellow that I can't remember his name. He was brought down into the city of Telos underneath Mount Shasta, like just a month or so ago. And this guy, he looked like a golfer. He was a very straight-laced person, very clear and grounded. And he was brought to the council chambers of Telos and told that on December 21st, 2020, there was going to be a very large shift in consciousness here on the planet. And that they offered that he would be an emissary between them and the surface people. And these Telos folks, I guess, are tall, 8-foot whites, and they want to share what they have with us. But they haven't been able to come up and be with us because our frequencies were so low that they couldn't be around us. And the nuclear energy and all that stuff that is so abhorrent to advanced cultures was something that the United States propagated. So this is like this unity field is an opening for those new energies to enter into the body of our war karma and brought up to the next upgrade, so that we turn our warriorship from that of destruction to that of creativity in the form of Krishna, dancing around with all those cowgirls. So that's pretty much my report.
Thank you.
Oh, one more thing.
Because we're going to open it up for other people to start to share.
yeah, that's good. But concurrent to that thing on the 21st, the Aboriginal elders are saying the same thing. I am complete.
All right, so let's take a great big yes breath with that. And it looks like Linda wants to pop in, and we just want to open it up to everyone else to allow what's moving. We trust what that impulse wants to say through you and as you, and then we'll take it back over to the grid that we all can work on together tonight. So yeah, opening it up.
Hi, this is Susan. Are you guys all doing?
Susan, can you hold on 1 minute? Because I think Linda was.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem.
Linda, it looked like
I am. Hello. I've been here. I've been here listening the whole time. And it's amazing, that I had time to stop in tonight early, as you were talking about the 1,000 Goddess Gathering in 2016, 4 years ago. The first one, I was there. And in fact, Pam Durand and I roomed together. So there was a beautiful group of people, and we were there, and I had taken a container of rose petals from all of the roses of ceremonies that I had done. And there's always roses. And it was windy and it was cold. And I remember we had all of these dried rose petals and they smelled wonderful. And we just crumbled them in our hands and the wind took them right up to the Capitol. And our prayers, of course, were that there could be it was before the election and it might have been a chance for the first woman president. And that wasn't meant to be, but there have been more women in Congress since then. So the divine feminine was so beautiful, and the ceremonies and the singing, it was just so powerful. And I think I've said it before in certain occasions, Charlie and I have talked about it, but the men that were there, the sacred guardians, it was so appreciated. And it felt so fabulous to have men who were supporting this divine feminine. And it was so powerful. And the men had a ceremony as well, brought me to tears. So I just, I just love that we were talking about this 1,000 goddess gathering. And that it was 4 years ago and I was actually there. And we tried. We chanted and sang a lot. And I know it's made a difference. I'm sure it's made a difference. I don't know if the goddesses have gathered, and it was anyone, it wasn't a special, you have to do anything special to be going to the 1,000 goddesses gathering, except to know that you were participating in something extraordinary. And yeah, I just wanted to share that. It was quite a beautiful experience. So carrying that forward, here it is right before the next election, that they'll be gathering wherever, not in Washington, I guess. But I think it's important to keep our intention with them and with all of the divine love possible as we enter this next week for the next election. Let's see how we are evolving. I'm complete. Thank you. Oh, so Susan, you can go ahead and pop on.
So anticlimactic here, my question. Well, now I had another question. Shelley, didn't you say that on 10/24/2020, the 1,000 goddesses gathering was in Washington, D.C.?
What I said was they had it, but it was online. I mean, there might have been people there. You can go to their website, which is, I can tell you, whoops. Let's see here. It's just
I could probably look at it.
1000goddesses.net. Yeah. So you can, yeah, you can find it there. More about it.
Okay, so they had the gathering, but they did it online because of the corona. Is that what you're saying? It was a virtual gathering?
They did it online. Yeah, this time, yeah.
And it's
Okay, thank you.
1,000. Susan, it's 1,000, like the number 1,000 goddesses.
Yeah. And then my other question is, are you holding energy on 10/31 for the Pilot Mountain octave raising?
So we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
You know, Peter wants to do something, that's up to him, but Charlie and Tyhson and myself, we have a 7-hour book retreat, mini retreat, where we're, as the consortium, we've been, since 2015, we've known that we'd be writing a book, and we are doing it as a group collective. And So we are coming together. So we won't be able to be part of that, but doesn't mean that it can't happen, or Peter can't create it, or, Amani's listening. If there's some way you want to do it in the connection field, it's possible. We can talk about that as well. So, but no details, no decisions have been made yet.
Okay, I just wanted to hold the energy, and I'm pretty sure I'm on the line that runs from DC down to Stone Mountain, because it goes right by Charlottesville, and I'm just diagonal right there. And I think Miss Amani, I don't know where Swano is, but she might be also on that line. So I was going to try to hold energy to release the tension on that line. So I was just curious. Thank you.
I have a suggestion if you can hear me over the rain here.
Karen,
It's really loud.
it's really, it's like you're underwater. You want to try to come back in?
No, it's called rain.
Oh. Sorry.
It's downpouring hard here, and it's really, really loud. I had to put my headset on. I was missing too much, and one of the speakers turned up all the way.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, my suggestion is if we're going to do anything for the 31st through the connection field, I look at the schedule, and excuse my mess. I looked at the schedule, and there's nothing before 11 o'clock Eastern with the Toltec purification ceremony. So I thought possibly if some of us organized something, I know Bridget, Peter, and I were doing some work together, and Claudia was there, and Gary, and there'll be others, maybe others too, but we did some work already on another circle. Maybe at 10 o'clock, if an hour is enough, or 9:30 Eastern time. And this is suggesting coming from someone who's not a morning person, but I'm willing. So if anyone thinks that would be a good idea, and then it would feed right into the Toltec purification ceremony, that we could also.
Well, and Karen,
John Pat.
the radical,
Hey,
yeah, the heart is at 10.
The what?
The heart resonance meditation with Julie Down, doesn't she do that
so
every day at 10?
Saturdays? This is a Saturday. Is she doing it on Saturday?
yeah, yeah, so why don't
Right.
yeah, I don't know if it can happen in the connection field. Actually, there's something all the way till I believe like 1 o'clock. And then there's, yeah, so I'm not sure at this late date whether we can put something like that together, but
Well, the full moon is at 10:49 Eastern Daylight Time on Saturday. So,
10:49 in the morning.
Is that the morning or the evening?
Yes, no, morning, 10:49 in the morning.
Yeah, it wouldn't be able to happen in the connection field till, yeah, like.
If anyone's interested, we can do something on another Zoom call as well.
Okay.
So just let me or Bridget or Peter know if you're interested in participating. And if there's something that you want to do through the connection field at a time where there's an opening, a lot of us believe that we need to start, very soon on this weekend and carry it through to at least the 2nd or 3rd of November, the energy focus there.
Okay, so it's really hard to hear you. So why don't you just put whatever you're talking about in the chat, and then the people that are interested can, email with Peter. Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing. And then Peter can be sort of a liaison for, yeah, unless it's, yeah, it's pretty late to be trying to put it into the connection field.
Bridget, maybe you can type in now.
So Imani, do you want to speak, Imani, or you can't?
I can speak. I just didn't want to speak over anyone.
Go ahead.
I'd be happy to bring this to the fire team, and I'm sure we can do a 10 to 15 minute piece there, potentially longer. I'm very interested in this work, so let me know how. Like, I'll reach out to you, Peter and Karen.
Great.
And I can also carry it through to the evening at the Japamala on Saturday night. So, hey, we're all in this.
Yeah.
Very perfect. That's awesome. Let's take a breath. Amazing. The field just unites, just like that unity field for the good of the whole, right? It knows how to do it. It's perfect. Thank you, Karen, for bringing that through. So anyone else want to share from the field?
I have something to share from the field around Washington, D.C. and the monument and the goddesses and just all of the people who have done things like this in Washington, D.C., all of the ceremonies. There's every year, the Native American Church puts up teepees around the fall equinox, and my friend Ellie Painted did a ceremony called Turtle Women Rising with the Grandma Council and participated in that. And there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people who have gone and prayed there, and that resonant field that we have been tending for all of these years each in our own unique ways is it feels like there is a convergence that is unlike any other time before. And being so deep down in the underworld that we are astrologically, that that bringing this love and light into the time of the astrology is I'm just really seeing all of the women dancing and all of the other people who have been on that the electrical system, if you will, the brain and the nervous system. That's how I see that Washington Monument area. That the neurons are turned on and firing, and that there's a lot of light happening there. And so singing and pouring light and pouring gratitude into that is what I was shown. Thank you so much.
Beautiful, Amani. Thank you. Just pop in, Mary.
Wow. I need to sing a verse of a song the goddess Bridget gave to me a number of years ago. Shine your love light through me, goddess. Shine your love light through me, goddess. Shine your love light through me, goddess. Shine through me. Fill me with your joy and laughter. Fill me with your joy and laughter. Fill me with your joy and laughter. Fill me with your peace. Rock my weary body and comfort me. Rock my weary body and comfort me. Rock my weary body and comfort me. Fill me with your love. Shine your love light through me, goddess. Shine your love light through me, goddess. Shine your love light through me, goddess. shine your light through me. I have nightly visitations, and the one that wants to be shared today is the one where I felt the portal from the heavens down to the center of the earth, the hollow earth, open up, and these angels by the legions are coming in through the portal and assisting us. And they are surrounding the earth. And the more we ask for their assistance, for the highest good of all, the more that flow in. So I've been in ceremony every day. I have this altar. I collected water from the Pacific Ocean. Karen and Peter and I worked with the Trinity this weekend in the sense of the Holy Father, Holy Mother, Holy Divine Child. Inside the Sacred Heart, I have Yeshua ben Joseph with me, also known as Jesus ben Panther, which connects with my Mayan chart with the jaguar. So White Buffalo Calf Woman and Yeshua ben Joseph have been visiting me every morning. And Archangel Michael and other messengers of peace, igniting that ancestral wisdom in the DNA at the microcosmic level, connecting with the macrocosmic level. My Andromedan soul essence is channeling high dimensional frequencies. And all the animals, plants, trees are connected with their own angels and channeling high dimensional frequencies in through all of the forests, all of the waters. All life is responding to this call. I will continue to do ceremony, probably at least through the winter solstice, probably until the spring equinox, probably forever, because I am that. I come in love, I come in light, I come in peace, I come in joy. I'm grateful to be with you all. Thank you for all the gifts and all we bring at this time. And I'm going to put a link to my Dive Deep song that names 36 goddesses, and please add your own. It's my gift from the goddess. Thank you.
Anyone else feeling to pop in? Any other dimensional angels wanting to arrive? Have their say with us? Any other earth angels?
Earth angel over here. I just got something. Like the subtle frequency of the angelic realm, and then like the density of Washington DC. And so as a percussionist who's played on that ground, it's like playing strong but really sweet, like there's it's like there's a ferocity to it, but it's a compassionate perspective, and that seems to be the access to get through the density for me anyway in Washington DC. Felt called to share that.
All right. So Charlie, why don't you bring up that map, your map, one more time? And I realized that the woman, my friend's sister, who were
Do you
not,
want the one with the picture of the grid, the 1,000 goddess grid, or do you want the
last
Okay.
one that I did?
I don't know which one. Let's try this one here.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. Next week. Okay. So I realized that I want to just bring her name into the circle. So what's really important about holding this person, and we can see her connected to thousands of other people that are really needing our attention, is that she lives within this grid, I believe. So I just want to drop her name in as we're doing whatever we're doing here tonight, that Chris DePalantino, that she's given the freedom to make her choice to transition or to be here. It's really up to her. We're not here to fix her. We're not here to try to make her heal, just simply holding her in this field of love and light. And that whatever choice she makes, that she moves peacefully into the next evolution or the higher octave, as Peter's been talking here tonight. So just holding her in this grid, within this grid. And also as a person who hasn't really believed in any of this and has been so close to the opportunity to really get this, that, you know, that, and that really reflects of so many people who really are so focused on the 3D aspect, this material world, and that we just see this shift of becoming more aware, you know, of what we've been talking about here tonight, the multidimensionality of life, and that we are all energy, and that our energy is always constantly interacting through our DNA, through our cells, obviously through our breath, and that this spiral, I just am seeing this spiral coming off. And, you know, that Washington monument that Peter had up there is sitting in water. And what Charlie was speaking to tonight about, you know, the Potomac River that surrounds that area. And we can just really feel into the waters, because the waters are the unifying source, and the water runs through all the land, you know, under all these buildings. And so by simply focusing on the water and really sending our love as crystalline, vibrational frequencies. So you and each one of us tonight can really just listen and feel into where your attention is being called, knowing that it's completely interconnected to all of us and all those that have for eons, as Amani was sharing, all the ceremonies, all the goddess ceremonies. And that we're just calling in that divine mother, you know, that Tyhson speaks to. to really balance and restore. Just restore the balance. Because the beauty of the divine feminine is she's not trying to take over. She's here to be a midwife for the balance, for the peace. And just taking a moment and just being in that silence, feeling us all together, opening your palms, connecting with those waterways, the land. You might even see yourselves planting a rose heart crystal on the top of that monument. Wherever you feel your attention needs to go, just smile and bring your love, knowing full well that you are this light, and forever it shall remain. You can just imagine this beautiful crystalline Merkaba that has been etherically placed, and all the crystals that have been placed. This dodecahedron just expanding and getting stronger that Tyhson was talking about. And that this rigidity that has been formed around the planet just literally melts away, dissolves. And there's more room for those women to come into the field. And also want to drop in something else, which is the children's trust. Really the first and foremost 21 children that stood up and still are standing up for all the generations to come in justice. And the words that they use, which you can bring into this healing frequency, is undeterred, unfettered. That's what they're saying. And just feel this golden frequency getting stronger. And this higher octave that Peter spoke about tonight. We are that. And we see people tapping into that tonight. We see people waking up. We feel them waking up. Just feeling that tingling, that sensate vibrational field moving through and as you, moving through and as us as a collective. So with that, it's coming back to the circle here. Our sister Linda, who's going to be bringing in the Japamala for peace. We can actually hold that right now, right here. We don't have to wait till 10 o'clock. In fact, let's just hold that frequency and see it expanding out from Washington, D.C. See it going into the waters of the Potomac. Om Shanti. Om Salam. Om Shalom. Home. You can just really feel that home going into those waters. If you know any other languages, feel free to bring them in. So with that, I open, every time I open my eyes, there's another screen. So, go ahead, Charlie. You're on mute, by the way.
It's all part of the whole, the shifting energy of what we're doing and why we're here to embrace all of this. Thank you.
That line that goes into Lake Michigan, that on the screen that you just shared, Charlie, is exactly where I'm sitting on that line. Yep. Goes right through it.
Mute. For those who haven't been with us, that final picture, this one here is a combination of two wheels, the pilot wheel and the medicine hoop wheel. And once again, we can take any point on that, either one of those wheels, and or at Mount Shasta or Mount Katahdin, and send energy into this grid. This is the connection grid that we have created with Peter over the weeks that we've been working together and continue to work on. So this is what it looks like. And wheels within wheels. Bless them all, and bless all of you for showing up and speaking from your heart. Bless you all. Thank you.
So I just want to, we'll come to a close here and have a little bit of a transition time for the Japamala. So for those who need to get a cup of tea or have a little break, we'll do that. I just want to let people know who are listening to this that you're in the connection field with us, and it's something spectacular to be in the Zoom room with us. And a lot of the offerings that happen here weekly are not broadcast on Facebook Live. So we invite you to come into the Zoom room, and you can, if you're just curious and you don't know that you want the digest, you can actually just go to goodofthewhole.org and click on the connection field, and you can click on the calendar, and it'll take you right to all the offerings so that you can see. With the digest, you'll get that link to come be part of that and to join during the week, come into the Resonance Lounge, come into some of these offerings that are more intimate, be in that safe and inclusive space. So we invite you to do that by going to connectionfielddigest.org and share it with your friends and invite other people, because this is, we are building this field of coherence together. It's a little bit different than just having all these different events happening as three-ring circuses and so much. It's actually a deeper dive into this experience of what we're calling heart resonance, and for us to be, everyone to be uplifted in their fullest expression. So with that, I think that's pretty good. Also, if you were here to watch that video with Pamela, the tone poem from 1,000 Goddesses, you can rewatch it, of course, but she will be live in the connection field. She comes in live every Thursday, both in the morning at 11 for giving voice to the heart. And as well, she comes back on with Rumi's Field, which is incredible, on Thursday evening. I think it's at 5 p.m. Eastern, always Eastern. So you can go check that out. We love you. And I think we're just going to have a closing of this beautiful radical earth heart resonance. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being radically delicious, bringing your voice forward, and opening to just Tyhson or Charlie. And if you want to close us, Charlie, that'd be great. Tyhson, if you have anything else that you want to add before we close. And for those of you who are interested for the 31st, put your email address in the chat box or on Facebook, and we'll grab it and connect you up with Peter. We love that this field is ever expanding. So come join us. With that, I hand it over to you. This beautiful bee is still flying, pollinating love. And I want to just honor the people who are on Facebook Live before I hand that over. Quick. Kathy Roberts, Kate, we love you. Carrie Anna, you're amazing, who says healing prayers, energy to Mayor Cromwell. And Benita Cortez, yes, we'll be doing ceremony to the end of our lifetime in this world, and we'll continue it into other worlds and universes. Carrie Anna Harbin says, I've had this question for a while. We'll post that question, Cariana. It's a pretty long one. So I will copy it and put it into the grid, into the chat box here. So thank you all, and thank you for sharing. If you know how to share this video out to your energy groups, or your healing groups, it would be beautiful for them to experience this as well. Passing it over to you, Charlie.
Thank you, Shelley. Thank you, each one of you, both on Facebook Live and here in the Zoom room, for your heart resonance. And as we close, we ask beloved Mother Earth to honor all of us for showing up, for tuning in, to listening to her heart resonance, knowing that we have never been separated except in our imaginary world, that the truth and the reality of who we are is far more than what our human consciousness can fully comprehend. Yet it is in that space that we come together in unity, in peace, in light, and in love. And it's from that place that we offer everything we have to the future generations who will dwell here on Mother Earth. Aho, takviawasan. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Take a deep breath. Feel complete, feel whole, feel happy. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Tyhson, want to pop in for anything? Anything pop in?
Just blessings, and thanks for everybody for showing up, and may you have a blessed week as we get ready for gigantic changes on the North American continent. Bye for now.
Thank you. Facebook Live will be back with the Japamala in just a few minutes, and you can join us in the Zoom room, connectionfielddigest.org, for that beautiful experience.